You're listening to Discover Stories on Reimagine Radio, brought to you by the Vancouver Adapted Music Society. To learn more about accessible music programs and opportunities, please visit our website at VAMS.org. That's www.vams.org. Now let's get into today's episode.
My name is Ethan Bragg. Professionally, I'm the Senior Communications Coordinator at BCWSA. I'm also personally involved as an athlete, sort of as a coach. I'm a bit of a accessibility and inclusion advocate in some ways. Done a lot of work around sport development and sport communications in the parasport space, as well as just trying to, increase representation and visibility and all of that fun stuff. And hopefully, I don't want to see change the narrative because I don't necessarily think the narrative in a lot of places is wrong, but promote different narratives in parasport and ones that are more authentic and athlete focused and have a more holistic view of disability and its role within that, rather than just like your classic, oh, they're so inspiring and look at what they've accomplished, when there's so much more to the people and to their stories than that really kind of linear, basic narrative and trope, if you want to call it that.
Yeah, totally. Well, thanks for the intro. I really appreciate it. So let's jump right into it. So, can you share insights into your role as the Senior Communications Coordinator, and what are the key initiatives you're currently focusing on?
Cool. Yeah. So as a comms coordinator, I lead all of the external communications for our organization. So our content style stuff. So athlete profiles, recaps, program information, fundraising campaigns. When we do our fundraising campaigns, probably around 3-4 times a year. Those things, a little bit of video, not much. Trying to branch a little bit more into that this year, and then coordinating a lot of our media relations as well. So when we have events, encouraging media to come out, handling all of the liaison style stuff there, doing that sort of stuff, and making sure that our athletes' stories are being promoted in an authentic, ethical, and genuine way.
Awesome. Yeah. Um, yeah, just sharing everyone's story and, informing the community is definitely important work. In terms of events, do you have any events currently going on or upcoming?
Yeah, so we're kind of getting ready to head into our heavier season of the year. So we have our largest fundraising event, which is called Push for Impact. It's
Mm.
a philanthropic wheelchair rugby tournament that's coming up on March 1st. Then we have our Vancouver Invitational Wheelchair Rugby Tournament, which is at the Richmond Olympic Oval. It's one of the longest running club wheelchair rugby tournaments in the world. It's our 25th Vancouver Invitational this year. So that's pretty exciting, and it brings top teams from across Canada and the Pacific Northwest
Wow.
together. Hopefully, I should be able to confirm this by the end of this week. We're probably going to have a women's team compete in Division Two as well this year, which is great because we've been doing a lot of work both provincially at BC Wheelchair Sports and a lot of our other provincial partners in other places, and trying to increase the number of girls and women getting involved in wheelchair rugby.
Mhm.
So that's really exciting, kind of giving them their own sort of team to play on in the mixed sport,
Mm.
giving a little bit more visibility to that, and yeah, hopefully leading to some really exciting games. And then this summer's always a busy time for us.
Mm.
So we've got our two international wheelchair tennis tournaments. So we have one in Kamloops in early July, and then another one in Vancouver at Kids Beach several days later, which are both International Tennis Federation international tournaments. So we'll have athletes come from countries from all over the world to compete in that, as well as some of our top local players. And then we're really excited that this November we're hosting the Birmingham National Wheelchair Tennis Championships at UBC. So we haven't hosted that in about 10 years. We're hosting it this year and next year. So we're really excited for that to happen and hopefully get some newer tennis athletes out competing in that as well. And then obviously the summer's track season, so lots of meets for our athletes. It's a Canada Summer Games year, so that'll be exciting for a few athletes in our programs, and yeah, just kind of continuing to work through our all of our weekly and regular programming in the meantime. But that's kind of a really fast, rapid fire overview of our major events.
Wow,
Um,
that
yeah.
sounds so exciting and definitely lots of major events coming up. And just for our listeners, if they want to, learn more about these events and figure out or see how they can join and maybe even volunteer, what's a good way for them to kind of reach out to you and learn more?
Yeah, so you can reach out to us at any time. Our website is bcwheelchairsports.com. Our staff directory is listed there. We have all of our program staff listed for specific sports if you have a
Mhm.
specific sport you want to get involved in. But if you just want to send a general inquiry, you can email info@bcwheelchairsports.com, or you can email me at communications@bcwheelchairsports.com, and we'll make sure it goes to the correct person who can point you to the right program or the right event.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you for that. We'll definitely link that in the episode details as well. So if someone didn't get that through the podcast session, they can definitely look at that detail there. Okay, so in terms of, I mean, you guys host so many events. Is there like a specific experience that like really stood out to you in your time at BC Wheelchair Sports?
Man, that's a bit of a tough question. So I've actually been involved in BC Wheelchair Sports for a very long time, even before I started working for them. So my first interaction with them was as a teenager when I got involved in their junior sport camps, which is often how a lot of our younger athletes have their first kind of experience within our program. So there I got introduced to a whole range of wheelchair sports, including all three of the ones that we run, which are wheelchair rugby, wheelchair tennis, and wheelchair athletics.
Mhm.
And from there, I got involved in our rugby programs. So I would say both like professionally and personally, I'm quite actively involved in the rugby community, both in my job, but also just personally as a lead of one of the co-leads of the Vancouver Wheelchair Rugby Club. So I would say my involvement in that and in rugby has always been like a really really big thing for me, beyond just the professional, because it's a sport that I've got a lot of great community benefits from, a lot of
Mhm.
great physical benefits, and met a lot of really good friends as well, and got to have some pretty cool experiences, both within and outside of BC Wheelchair Sports. Yeah, so that's kind of been really sweet. I really enjoy working on our Canada Cup International Wheelchair Rugby Tournament. It's We run that every 2 years, and it's a big international event. And I think working on that, and even before I was working there, volunteering on that in the
Mhm.
past opened up a lot of doors for me, just to do different parasport comms. So I've got to, attend World Wheelchair Rugby events and do some work for the International Federation. I've got to do some work for the Canadian Paralympic Committee, and I don't think I'd be able to have done any of that if I hadn't had the experience like working at BC Wheelchair Sports and working on an event of that level and that scale, because it really gave me the tools and experiences to be able to kind of go elsewhere
Mhm.
and fit in any of those environments.
Yeah, wow, you've done some empowering work. That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. So, where do you, like, within your own personal goals in the organization, where do you see BC Wheelchair Sports heading in the next few years?
I mean, I think we're in a pretty good place right now where
Mhm.
it's kind of the start of a new Paralympic cycle, with it being 2025.
Right.
We kind of work on like 4 or 5 year strategic plans. So we're kind of early in our next phase. We're in a really, I think I can say this confidently. We're really focused right now on athlete recruitment and then
Mhm.
strengthening the programs that we do have. So a lot of people don't know that parasport exists or what parasports are out there for them.
Mhm.
And that's kind of a big part of my work in communications. It's getting that awareness out, doing that work, working with our fantastic PTG coordinator, Daniel, who does so much community outreach, going to so many different events and kind of getting our name out there and being the boots on the ground while I'm more the guy behind the screen.
Right.
So, yeah, It's been great to kind of get more people connected to our programs to increase that awareness piece, and then,
Mhm.
yeah, hopefully get these people involved in the sport. One of the great things about BC Wheelchair Sports is we really endeavor to remove as many barriers to participation as possible,
Mm.
whether that be financial, whether it be equipment, whether it be some of those attitudinal barriers.
Mhm.
We do a lot of work to make sport as accessible as possible, to our members and to those that want to get involved. So that's, I think that's really important. And yeah, we are always looking to increase those numbers. It's a really vibrant and supportive community once you get
Mm.
involved in it. And it's a little bit cliche for me to say, but it can be so much more than sport. Even
Right.
if you're not like the most athletic person and you don't have to want to go to the Paralympics
Mhm.
to get involved in sport and come out to a program, have fun, and improve your fitness a little bit.
Yeah.
But if you do want to be, that next level athlete and take your game, whatever it may be, to the next level, we also have, the tools and supports in place to help you do that. So yeah, this is a really long-winded answer, and I don't know if I properly answered your question. But yeah, it's just continuing to kind of grow our membership,
Mhm.
and really continue to stay committed to our goals of removing barriers and allowing people to be active and involved in sport.
Right, absolutely. Very informative.
Yeah.
And hopefully, this podcast is a way for another means for that outreach. And hopefully, we could get to connect with more members for the program. I think we like stormed through all of our questions here. But is
That's
there
okay. It's
anything?
great. It's great. I mean, I will add on to that. Like for me, on a personal level, like I've done a lot of work in starting to build our junior wheelchair rugby program alongside our great, rugby staff and program staff. And A good friend of mine and one of our rugby coaches, Byron, on Vancouver Island. We've kind of built the first two kind of junior wheelchair rugby programs in
Oh,
Canada,
wow.
and we're really trying to build that up and grow it. There hasn't really been a playbook for that,
Mm,
so it's been great to kind of, outside of my working professional role in the wheelchair sports community,
mhm.
also be able to kind of volunteer a little bit and give back, and kind of get to use some of the knowledge that I've learned from observing and being around my colleagues to help, support a program, from the ground up there, and
Right.
get these kids, active and engaged in sport. The interesting thing with wheelchair rugby, for those who don't know, is it's a sport for people with impairment in their upper and lower limbs.
Mm,
So you have to have impairment in your arms and your legs. So it's a smaller pool that we're able to pull from,
mm,
and also especially with those younger athletes.
mhm.
Sometimes they come with less, physical literacy than, say, their able-bodied or even more functional peers with disabilities.
Mm,
So, we really at the early stages have to focus on building those basics of how do you push your chair, how do you pass, how do you catch, and then if those skills are challenging at the start, also
mhm.
helping them like build that confidence of knowing that like it's okay not to be good at this right away. It's
Right.
okay to maybe not be able to do this, the same way as everybody else, and it's okay to take time to learn different ways to do it. So
Mhm.
I think that's been really fun and really rewarding, and it's kind of cool for me to have gone like full circle as someone who started out really like young in the program, as kind of the young kid in our rugby program like 15 years ago, to now being one of the older guys and one of the people trying to, create more opportunities for those younger kids now. I really just want kind of the next generation to have even better, opportunities and experiences than I did,
Mm,
and to kind of be able to develop that confidence at an earlier stage.
right.
I think that's really important, and I think that's one of the things that, sport in general, but adaptive sport is really good at,
Mhm.
is helping people, develop confidence, social skills, and, a little bit of resilience as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. That's incredible work that you're doing, and you're able to help, children essentially from the ground up. So what advice would you give individuals who are considering getting into wheelchair sports? Like they've never done it and they're like considering to do it. Like what do you have for them?
I mean, I think I say this all the time, when I meet somebody new or when I'm trying to recruit someone, it's just like, just come out and try it. And like,
Right.
even if that first sport you try isn't for you, don't be afraid to try other things. The great thing, and one of the wonderful things about BC is we have
Mhm.
a really vibrant adaptive sports community. There are several organizations doing really great work around the province. So
Mhm.
I'm also involved as a bocce athlete. So I interact a lot with Sportability BC, and they're doing really great work right now with sledge hockey and bocce and
Mhm.
power soccer. My first wheelchair sport I ever played was wheelchair basketball, and that kind of
Wow.
introduced me to this whole world. And
Right.
BC Wheelchair Basketball does a lot of really incredible work. We partner with them at BC Wheelchair Sports a lot, so they're fantastic for people with visual impairments. BC Blind Sports, really phenomenal. They do a lot of great work. Goalball is an incredible sport that I've had the opportunity to work around in the past couple of years with different organizations, more so with the CPC, the Canadian Paralympic Committee. So yeah,
Mhm.
there's a lot of really exciting and interesting sports out there,
Mhm.
and especially now with how accessibility is increasing and adaptive rec is really growing. Like, just keep trying things as much as you can until you find that thing you like. Even if
Mhm.
it's not sports, if you can find something that gives you a sense of joy and community, I think that's fantastic. So
Mm.
yeah.
Absolutely. Especially community is huge. When you're kind of going through something that can feel very isolating, and just connecting with people who kind of gone through similar experiences can be so empowering. Thanks for tuning in to Discover Stories on Reimagine Radio. If you enjoy our content, please support us by subscribing to the YouTube channel or following us on Spotify. See you in the next episode.